talking about it's Valentine's, and I know today is a day for love, and for the loved ones, they must be excited for different reasons, because others may be expecting so many gifts, others expecting to have time with their loved ones. But I must say this day is not actually to be celebrated in the way that you think, because this is a very holy day, and you really do not have to engage yourselves in certain things, because really this day is not how we celebrate today. Because really, if you to look at the Valentine's Day, a brief history about this day is that it originated as a Christian feast, day honoring a martyr named that is Valentine, and through later folk traditions, it has become a significant cultural, religious, and commercial celebration of romance and love in many regions of the world. And Valentine's Day traces its origin that is way back to 1909, and today this day has actually become very significant to be celebrated by so many lovers out there. And I don't know why, because I really see people donning on red. People put on red and black in most cases. People donate flowers. People really, you see people sharing gifts, which is not very bad, but really Valentine's also has its own negative repercussions, where you see sometimes families breaking up just because of this day, and you see lovers also ending, because some may be expecting gifts from their loved ones, but if they did not receive these gifts, and you really see some people having or was in their relationship. So I think this is just a day, it's like a normal day, and really if your lover has been giving you the gifts, then today, if he or she does not give you the flower or anything, please take it in good faith. Understand maybe the economy is very hard, and just go to church and pray. And for the Muslims, you can also head to the mosque and pray, because definitely this is not a day for you to really also go out there and start engaging in certain things here and there, which could really have a negative repercussion on your relationship with your loved ones out there. So I think I want to really appeal to each and all of you, maybe those who are in relationship. If you do not really have money today, do not rush, because you're going to see today some people going out to borrow just because they want to please their loved ones. I'm telling you, acceptable. It is not really right for you to really go and just borrow money so that you can really also surprise your loved ones by buying them the flowers. These flowers will rot. I'm telling you, after one day, the flowers will rot, and after able to ask your questions of, because if somebody does not really buy for you the flowers, and today you are going to have problems with them, and you forget, in most cases people forget that this person has been there for you for all these days, for all these hours, for all these years, and just because of Valentine's today, you're going to see people really breaking up. And that is something I must say needs not to happen, because this day is just there to pass. It's like any other normal day. It's like Eid. Just take it like Eid, take it like Christmas, because and do not really have problems with your loved ones about gifts, because really this is where you see gifts. Because I believe gifts can be given out at any time and at any moment of the day. So I think if somebody does not really give you the gifts on the Valentine's Day, take it in good faith, because me, I have really, they did not receive in turn. You see people frowning their faces, angry, it is not quite good. This is just like a normal day, and I believe if it is here to pass, it will pass, and definitely you will be able to sort of have time with your loved ones. And that's why I must appeal to each and all of you just to take this day as a normal day, and really take it in good faith. And if somebody does not buy for you the gifts, I also just do not really take it angrily. Just accept, believe in yourself that you'll be able to get the gifts next time, because really this day may be very bad for your lover. So I think if we really understand each other, and to the lover also, open up to your fiancés. Tell them, really, today I don't have the money, maybe I'll be able to buy for you the gifts, come next time. And really today is also coinciding with the Ash Wednesday. This is also also known as the Lent period for the Christians, and I must say today they are also now beginning their fasting, and the Christians across the world, 14th of February, will start fasting, a season in which they are ushered into a traditional Ash Wednesday. And while the Lent period lasts for the 40 days, Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of the season, which is actually today, where devotees receive an ash in the forehead. Today, if you see people moving with the ashes on the forefront here, you need not to really worry, because today is also a day for going to church. This is where you're going to see maybe Christian believers painted with a white ash on the face. That is an indication that today is actually the beginning of the Lent period. And this is the Lent, in Christianity, it is the Lent period. I do understand the fasting, also Muslims do it, and it is called the Ramadan period. And for the Christians, the Lent period is actually beginning today. That is with the Ash Wednesday. And yesterday, during the Mass, the priest inscribes ash on the foreheads of the Christians, and this is where we are going to be seeing white ash being placed on the foreheads of the Christians. And the ash symbolizes human mortality, as having been created using dust, and dust we shall return to. Yes, that is the belief. And really, if you're not going to be here for life, at one time you will be able to really go back to God. And that is why this day is very, very much significant, because that ash indicates that we come from ash. Really, we believe in the Christianity faith that really we are created from ash, and for the Muslims, they believe that they were created from mud, and really it is also to the mud that they will be able to go back. And that is the similarity when it comes to this Lent period and the Ramadan period. They have so many similarities. So I think for the believers, for the Christians and the Muslims who are not going to celebrate the Valentine's Day today, just know that you're doing the right thing, because this day is coinciding with one of the very important days in the Christianity faith. And the Islamic faith also condemns people from celebrating this Valentine's Day. So I think if the believers do not celebrate this day, just accept it. And for the lovers, if somebody tells you that I do not celebrate this day just because I'm a believer and I really subscribe to the Ash Wednesday, take it in good faith. Also accept it that this person does not really celebrate what you think that they need to celebrate. Just accept it and move on, and really do not also take it angrily, do not take it bitterly. Understand your loved ones, and that with that really you are going to avoid certain problems, and you're going to really enjoy your relationship, your love in the coming days. But if you really start wars today, the relationship may even die today. And I'm telling you, I'm assuring you today, I want to assure you today, that today we are going to witness people breaking up just because of the Valentine's Day, because some people are going to get to know that they were side chicks, or maybe they were being used for different reasons here and there. And today you're going to see people being taken out by other lovers that they didn't know. So I want to really question you. Today is a day that people are going to spend a lot of money, and really if you have feelings of wanting to take somebody out, please mind of your pockets, because to where the happenings are taking place may not be affordable for you and the person that you want to take out. Really, if you really have the monies, maybe plan it and use it actively for other things. Because really today you're going to see people really spending a lot of money buying these these roses, these expensive flowers, and the people dealing in these flowers are going to make the money. I want to say that for those in floriculture, they're going to make this money, but it is going to have a negative implication on the pockets of those who are going to buy. Imagine somebody who has more than 3 girlfriends and they all want to all buy for them the flowers. This is where you're going to see the problems. And for those who also have many spouses, you really have to be balancing, and this is where you're going to spend a lot of monies, and which you may not be able to really budget for it properly. So the priest also called upon Christians to fight all evils that offend eternal truth for the love and culminated into the eternal God. So I think this is the message that should really go to out to all the Christians out there as you are celebrating the Ash Wednesday that coincides, unfortunately, to me, which is fortunate. I don't want to say unfortunately, but I want to say fortunately with the Valentine's Day celebrations. You need to really ensure that you are closer to your God with this day here, because really if you are very far, if the relationship between you and your God is very, very distant, then definitely it will not be good for you out there, because the Ash Wednesday is actually one important day that comes in the lives of the Christians. It symbolizes a lot. It also symbolizes the Christian action to grieve for the death of Jesus Christ. The ash is usually prepared by burning pearls during the previous Palm Sunday. And speaking to Pepper yesterday, the eve of Ash Wednesday, Kampala Archdiocese spokesperson Reverend Father John Muchibi implored Christians to attend Mass and to pray for the grace of humility. And that is what we are really talking about. Use this Ash Wednesday to really improve on your faith, because really sometimes people are not having good faith in God. Their relationship between them and God, their God is very, very distant. And this is actually the period that you could use to really come closer to your God. And then at the end of the day, you will really have something that you will be able to really bridge that far relationship between you and God. Because how often do you pray? How distant is the relationship that you have with God? That is the question that you should always ask yourself. And with this Ash Wednesday, you could actually go to church and really interact with the religious leaders, and they will be able to tell you more about this day and how it can be able to really greatly improve on your faith. So I think if you really use that very well, and then definitely you will be able to really also benefit from that day. And really, that is where we are going to put the discussion on Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day celebrations that are coinciding together aside as we head in for a short commercial break. The first one for the hour, and really I want to welcome you in case you're just joining us right now to the Kokoliriko live show each and every mornings from Mondays to Fridays from the hour of 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. My name is Farish Majid and you're most welcome.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on StarTimes. StarTimes brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are still going on with the Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV. In case you're just joining us right now, you're most welcome. In the first quarter of the first hour, we did discuss a lot of issues here and there, ranging in that is in relation to the Valentine's celebrations. We also talked about the Ash Wednesday. These are actually very, very important days in the lives of the Christians, and really they need to celebrate this day. And Valentine's, the problem with Valentine, people are misusing this day to really celebrate it in a way that really does not suit what the Christianity or Islamic faith is saying. To me, it is really not in relation to that. But I want to really call upon each and everybody celebrating this day. I want to wish them happy Valentine's. And people like Richard and Rio all the way from Kampala, you are really, I believe, one person that is celebrating this day. And I really want to call upon each and all of you that celebrate this day to really be very, very cautious of what you are going to be spending, really. If you are going to spend monies, let's make sure that it will not be able to really affect on our commercial stand. And really, if you are to be able to really spend, let it not maybe exceed what we can be able to really afford. And this is where the financial literacy is very, very important, and the concerns in relation to spendings are very, very crucial here, because if you really are going to spend unnecessary, then definitely that is going to really have an impact on you. And now moving into security, which is really becoming a great challenge, and maybe District Greater Police Station is now set to receive, that is the police sniper dogs that are really going to be able to help, that is in investigations, and really tracing, that is the criminals. And how I wish this would really come to a rural city where security is really becoming a great challenge, more so with this new trend of theft that is currently ongoing, where these young boys, the youth, who are in most cases the perpetrators, are using now motorcycles to do broad day robbery by grabbing people's handbags, grabbing people's phones. And this is one thing that I must say is becoming a great challenge, really. If it is not addressed, then people are going to lose a lot of money, people are going to lose a lot of their properties to these stupid boys who really, to me, really are becoming a challenge and really a nuisance to the public. At the same time, also by giving women, really more so women who are vulnerable to this, giving them challenge. Yesterday they did arrest one, really, but these boys we are able to escape, and they abandoned that motorcycle just around, that is the golf course. And this is something I must say is becoming a great challenge, not only in this area but in most parts of the city. And this is where it is becoming a great challenge. They are grabbing people's handbags, they're giving people hard times, they're giving women difficulties. Really, to me, that needs to be addressed, because if it is not addressed, then definitely that is going to be a challenge, because people continue to lose property. And sometimes, so we do understand that these boys actually borrow the motorcycles from some people. They just ask and really request for it, like, let me go to town, and they go and use it for doing this robbery. And this is one thing that we have had in terms of areas maybe where these motorcycles have been impounded, because yesterday the borders were able to reunite and run after these thieves until they were able to abandon the bag that they grabbed, and they also abandoned the motorcycle there and escaped. And this is where, after the owner of the motorcycle came in and really said these boys had actually borrowed the motorcycle just to go and use it for going to town, and unfortunately he didn't know that this motorcycle was going to be used for broad day robbery. And I believe, just like the culprit of yesterday who fell victim to these boys that grab handbags, I believe so many are out there also really crying and going through the same exercise, which is really becoming a great challenge. And now areas of Arua City are really faced by this challenge, more so areas that are known for this criminality. And these boys are really one trick that they use is they be on the motorcycle to people, and once they identify somebody that they want to steal from, they will really take their time and first look around if there's any motorcycle that can really front them. And if there's no motorcycle, they can really come and do that their act and really grab the handbags, come closer to you and reduce their speed and grab your property. Could it be a phone and really, or handbag? That is one thing that I must say they usually target, because they think the handbags contain the monies, and women really also put their phones or everything, all of their belongings into the handbags, and that is why they are victims, and really that is why they are facing challenges in terms of coming to these challenges. And really, this is one thing I must say is affecting the city when it comes to areas of theft. Now, Greater Navy Police to get canine dogs. The Greater Navy Police areas are set to receive Uganda Police canine or sniper dogs to help in, that is aiding police in forensic investigations due to their sense of smell that aids in tracking down suspects as well as recovering hidden drugs and explosives, among others. Remember, these dogs, by the way, play a crucial role, because if there's any terrorist really with the explosives around, they can be able to really smell that, and they will be able to also really inform the other police agencies so that they can be really track down these people who are having negative impact, who are having negative feelings and really intentions of trying to really harm the society. So I think this is a good move, and really we appreciate Uganda Police for that, and we look forward to having this work, because really if you look at what is happening there, at times you see broad day armed robbery, you see people's doors being broken, and this is actually what is going to help in the investigations, because if somebody breaks into your dog, in your house, I mean, you can really go to police and really request for these dogs, and the dogs will be able to really come and trace until where the person who steals from you is tracked down. So I think that is why it is very, very good. And we need to really appreciate Uganda Police for that. And we welcome this move, because these areas have been facing challenges. If you look at the 3 districts, that is of Zombo, that is Nebi and Pakwach, there was lack of these canine services, meaning that if there is somebody that stole from you, then police had to use other means of investigating this case, because it was going to be very difficult for them to really start tracking down on where these thieves that could have stolen from you could have gone to. So I think that is really a great challenge and something that needs to be done, and really we want to really call upon each and everybody to now help police into doing this work, because it's not going to be a work of police alone. Police has to work together with all the stakeholders, and you is a stakeholder. So everybody is a stakeholder, and then definitely you need to help police in working together with these canine dogs. And this is a good move, and I believe if the dogs will be able to be used properly, then cases of criminality in the areas will be brought down. And now the Navy District Police Commander SSP Amis Kayondo, in an interview with West Nile TV reporter yesterday morning, noted that the canine is instrumental in fight against crime. He added that the whole of northern Uganda, that is Karuma to West Nile region, it's only in Arua city. So I think that is quite good, and now that will also really help police in doing investigations. And according to Amis, sometimes it would be 2 days for a dog to be transported over long distances. As the airtime of the dog arrived in Arua city to Pakwach, the crime scene would have really been compromised by human tampering here and there. And yes, this is something we are talking about. The distance, imagine that area, the districts of Zomu, Pakwach and Nebi didn't have sniper dogs, meaning that if there was any criminality or any case that needed to be investigated, they had to really come to Arua and request for these dogs. And with the distance from Arua up to Nebi, with this kind of road status that we are talking about, then it's going to take very long by the end of the day, because really these people smell foot. These dogs at times use these footpaths. They smell the footpaths. If somebody comes and steals from you, you have to bring the dog up to the area where the case has taken place from. So these dogs have to smell and keep on sniffing right from where they are brought until where the person maybe moves into. I've seen this work because really way back we used to see in Kampala how if somebody breaks into your door, in your cases of burglary, if there's any case of burglary, somebody just rushes to call police. Police comes with the sniper dogs, and the dogs have to smell right from where the scene of crime takes place until where the suspect goes finally. So I think we have been able to really see these dogs helping a lot, and we expect them to really perform the same duty, and really bring them closer, to me, is a plus and something that we need to really appreciate Uganda Police for. And we hope that these dogs will achieve a lot when it comes to helping in curbing down criminality. So for the dogs to be effective as a sense of crime, there must be a combination of factors in play, like human factors in early reporting, among others. The dogs will serve Nebi, that is Zombo, and Pakwach, respectively, as the canine is under construction. Now, the kennel where these dogs are going to be is actually going to be under construction. And now the vehicle, we also expect a vehicle that is going to be used for transporting these dogs. And these dogs are not just going to move like any other ordinary dogs. They must have their own vehicle, which is going to act as a cage or as a kennel for them, for really to be moved with here and there. So I think this is where it is going to help in criminality. And for those of you who are in this area, in case of anything maybe that needs these dogs, then timely reporting is actually the way to go. That would also really help you maybe in getting to identify the criminals within your areas, and at the end of the day, that is also going to really also greatly impact on dragging down the cases of security within the area. Now moving away from that, Pakwach fishermen petition Speaker of Parliament over FPU operations on Albert Nile. And yes, fishermen all over the country, I must say, are complaining against this body of, that is the FPU, Fisheries Protection Unit, that is mounting operations on most of the water bodies in the country. And now we are seeing so many fishermen coming out. And recently, yesterday, I did watch, that is the State Minister of Fisheries, Adoa, also talking about this. And really, I must say, then the fishermen are really going through a lot. Definitely, that is also one challenge that we need to talk about, because some of these people did not know really any other activity that they would use to really get monies from. Most of their livelihoods were dependent on fishing, and now with the hard operations on these water bodies, ranging from the boat, where we are seeing the fisheries unit also saying people need to desist from that is operating on immature fish, and most of the fishermen now who are saying that they deviated from that is operating illegally on that is immature fish have really stopped it, but they really continue to be pushed by the Fisheries Protection Unit, which is really making it very, very difficult for them. And now fishermen and fishmongers in Pakwach district are stranded with their business on Lake Albert and Albert Nile as operations mounted by Fisheries Protection Unit take another angle. So following the recent incident where trucks carrying fish from South Sudan coming to Uganda were intercepted at Pakwach police by, this has also made this spot to raise concern, where 12 million Uganda shillings was paid to Uganda Revenue Authority for clearance, and according to document is seen by this Western TV, the fishermen cry foul by the manner in which other boats and fishing gear and recommended fish equipment are being impounded by the officials on the water bodies. And yes, this is the challenge we are talking about. And really, if you move to most of these water bodies, not only Albert Nile, even if you move to Lake Victoria, you are seeing that people are deviating from fishing, and they are living this business that they best knew. And really, that is also greatly impacting on their livelihoods, because some of these fishermen were using the fishing business to really ensure that they take care of their families. Most of them are the breadwinners. They pay the children, the fees of their children through fishing, and that is the only thing that they know. Because if you remove, even if you leave this, what is happening, maybe on Albert Nile, you move all the way to other water bodies. Even if you move to River Nile, you really get to know that people are complaining about the fisheries protection, the conditions that are really they are operating on, which is very stringent for them. They are saying that the methods that the fisheries protection unit is using is very brutal, and really this is where there's need for maybe government to come over and really start helping this one. Now this petition in the Speaker of Parliament, that is Right Honorable Anita Among, for an intervention, and they really hope if there is any adjustments maybe on the fisheries law, definitely that would also really greatly improve on their livelihoods, and that is something I must also say needs to be done, because if that is not done, then definitely people continue to cry out as foul in terms of really these fisheries operations, protection unit operations on these water bodies. That definitely is also really causing problems for them. And really, if you look at Albert Nile, even if you move to Lake Victoria, this is where the same thing that is happening. People are complaining. The fishmongers are crying that they really, their fish is being impounded illegally. Recently, we did see the fishmongers in Narua City that is storming the resident city commissioner's office, demanding for an explanation as to why the fish that comes from South Sudan is impounded. And now yesterday we did see also the State Minister of Fisheries also coming out clearly to say that they are going to now sit with their counterparts that is in South Sudan to see to that they also really harmonize operations when it comes to the operations on immature fish and illegal fish that is really coming to the country. And we did see them also talking about this. And now we expect something to be done. And we are yet following up on that. We hope at the end of the day, definitely something will be able to be done to these fisheries, these fishermen and the fishmongers, because yesterday we did see them also, the minister coming out clearly to say that they are going to really sit with their their representatives from that side, because they did have a meeting with the ambassador. Now they are hoping to really have the meeting extended to a larger scale. So I think that is something that is quite good, because if the people who are dealing in this fish industry continue to really cry foul, then definitely they will be able to also be pushed away, because this is going to affect them economically, and we are talking about economic empowerment. Definitely that is something that needs not to happen that way. So I think this is a good move, and we hope something will be able to be done to them. And according to Dutch, and really Manuel Rothomio, the chairperson of Pakwach District Board Owners Association, observes that they have been abiding by the rules and regulations, but up to now something has not been done. So I think this is where they are going to really, or they're going to be affected by this, and now that is something that they're saying that about at least 3,000 boats and fishing gears have been impounded and burnt by the Fishery Protection Unit in the recent operations. Really look at 3,000 boats and you really estimate maybe how much a boat was costing, and then definitely you'll be able to see that something is happening, something that needs to be helped is really happening, and this is where it's going to push away so many people, because some of these people may have actually borrowed these monies from the loan companies to see to that they get engaged, that is through production, maybe also through fishing as an activity. And remember yesterday also we did talk about Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo exchanging fishermen who were arrested, where we did see also their fishing gears being exchanged here and there. And remember, the operations on these water bodies sometimes is becoming very, very difficult. It's becoming really very difficult, even at the international level, where we did see the Democratic Republic of Congo also arresting some of our fishermen. We also did the same. We arrested fishermen from, that is the Democratic Republic of Congo. And definitely that is something that we are talking about, and there is now something that needs to be done, because if that is not done, so many people are going to be pushed away from the business, and that is also going to have negative repercussions on the economy. And to me, if that is not addressed, then definitely it will be able to sorely negatively impact on the economy. So Paul Chinobe, the chairperson, Panyamuru Business Community, revealed that fishermen are in dilemma to pay school fees for their children, and since their sources of income are being affected, Chinobe appeals to government also to restrict the manufacturers of fishing gears so that fishermen can use the recommended fishing gears. Yes, that is the way to go. At times, we need not to really have the look of the things from the start. Really, where do these things come from? These fishermen purchase these things locally. And which industries do these people purchase maybe this fishing gear that we are being impounded? So I think this is where they need to really also have a feeling and have a look where this thing comes from, because if that is not the case, then definitely the mature fishing will continue, because the protective gear, maybe the fishing gear that these people are buying, could not really favor them to also really continue, that is fishing of the mature fish, and then definitely that is also really going to drastically impact on their lives. So I think that is, there's need now for the factories that manufacture these things, that are putting also these people at risk and in fighting with the relevant authorities to also ensure that they manufacture what is right. That would also really, at the end of the day, greatly improve on that is the relationship between the Fisheries Protection Unit that is mounted on this water bodies, also to really have a good relationship with the fishermen and the fishmongers. At the end of the day, that is where we are going to be talking about. And now this is also going to happen. Fred Bijik, Chairman Beach Management Committee, Kumaler Landing Site in Mabogo Village, Pakwach District Town Council, confirmed that all boats at his landing sites were burnt and some of the fishermen were arrested. And Bijik expressed worry that if the operations continue, people of Jonam will suffer periodically as their main economic activities have been affected. And this is something I did talk about earlier on, because I said some of these fishermen really were initiated into their business right from their parents, from their grandparents. They inherited this business. And it is the main economic activity that they best know, because I have interacted with people in Entebbe, and you really see that some of them have known fishing as the only economic activity, because that is what they inherited from the grandparents, and their fathers were also fishermen, and they were also initiated into the same business, and that is how they have been living their lives, and that is how they have been earning for themselves and also really earning something small for their families. And that is one thing I must say is now facing maybe a risk of them leaving that business, and we don't know where next they will be able to go. And we are really calling upon maybe the relevant stakeholders to have adjustments on the operations on these water bodies. Yes, we are not condemning that is the operations, but we are saying if there are adjustments maybe also that can favor the fishermen, then definitely that will also really greatly improve on the livelihoods of both the government also, because government has to really ensure that they also maybe get engaged in this fishing, because these fishermen, some of them are saying, what they are saying is that, I don't know how true it is, but what they are saying is that some people are now being involved in this fishing industry because of its demand. They are now maybe also really impounding this fish, and they also sell it. They did not ban it. That is why they are raising so many concerns here and there. And they're saying sometimes also they are being pushed away from fishing on these water bodies, because there are some big people, I don't know how true that one is, who are now involved in this business and who are using this business to really also earn for themselves. And now it is them. They want to pull the vulnerable people off the market, because fishing used to be for the vulnerable poor. Now they are seeing also rich men engaged in that business. And then definitely that is something I must say is one thing that is raising concern among the fishermen, and they are really calling for government to come to their rescue. And they really, if that is not addressed, then definitely we are going to be seeing so many people being pushed away from that industry, and then definitely that will also really also greatly improve, or that will also greatly affect their livelihoods, and to me, which will not really be quite good there. Because if they continue the way they are doing, then definitely that is going to really also greatly affect on the economy. And really moving away from that now, we still have lots more. But in case you're just joining us right now, you can really be part of the show by really also commenting, maybe also sharing your opinions on the various media feedback generating platforms. For those of you streaming us on Facebook, you can drop your comments there, and as well as those on YouTube, you can also really use the YouTube comment section to really drop your comment there, and we shall be able to also see maybe what you think, and we shall be able to also really share it with the rest of the viewers out there. And members of parliament have asked government to commit that the new A-level curriculum will be ready by 2025 to avoid frustration amongst the 2024 O-level candidates who will be assessed based on the new lower secondary curriculum. And remember, government did amend, that is the O-level curriculum, which is now operational for about 3 years, and we are seeing now the first batch will be able to sit, that is the UCE exams this year, because this is the 4th year since the implementation of the new curriculum began. And we are seeing those who actually commenced with the new curriculum, they are now in senior 4 this year, and now we are following up on that. And also the A-level curriculum, now the members of parliament are saying it also needs to be amended, because these learners who are going to be assessed based on the new curriculum will also really go to A-level and face difficulties if that is not addressed, because they are saying really if that is not addressed, the new curriculum may also really greatly impact on them, because the learners whom we are talking about who are going to be sitting for the UC exams are going to really sit for a totally different form of examination from what we really knew, because for us, we were part of the old curriculum, and now the new curriculum, which is coming on board, they will be able to sit for their first examination of the UCE this year. And we're also looking forward to the amendment of, that is the primary living examination, maybe the primary section curriculum as a whole also needs to be amended, because if you really look at the new curriculum, I must say it is amazing, because it is promoting hands-on skills experience where the learners also get to really see what they are learning in class. And you see young people being engaged as farmers, because they have to specialize maybe in some of the areas where they can't be able to really specialize in. Where we're seeing people becoming farmers, where we're seeing these others getting experience that is in tailoring and so many other experiences. And really with that, we are going to be running for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we shall be able to expound on this discussion. My name is Farish Majid. You are most welcome in case you're just joining us right now. Please do not touch your dial. We shall be able to bounce back shortly from now. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Jonna. AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial break. This is still the Kokoliriko live morning updates with me, Farish Majid, and today is the Valentine edition, and really I want to wish each and everybody watching this show happy Valentine's. And for the Christian believers also, I want to wish you happy Lent period, because the Lent month is actually starting, where people are going to be fasting for 40 days, and really I want to encourage each and all of you also to be holy within this period and really also get closer to your God. And before we headed into a discussion, we were talking about how MPs want the A-level curriculum amended before 2025, because we are already in 2024. The last batch of, that is the first batch, will be able to sit for the exams under the first curriculum this year, and meaning definitely next year they will also really be heading into the A-level, and really where they hope to also find a new curriculum. And that is something that we are talking about, because if that is not amended, then definitely it is also going to impact on the academic struggles of that is for the learners who will be able to join A-level next year, because really if that is not the case, and then definitely that is going to negatively have an impact on them. And Harold Muindo, the Bugonzo East County Member of Parliament, who raised the matter during the Tuesday plenary, noted that it is not applicable for 2024 senior for candidates to choose their A-level academic combinations basing on the phased-out old A-level curriculum, and that is where he based his argument. And in response, the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Kokoliriko, revealed that government consultations on the A-level curriculum are taking place through the Education Ministry and the National Curriculum Development Center, and that is something I must say also needs to be done. So, however, the chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum on Quality Education, Margaret Ruabashaija, expressed concern over the delay to allocate funds to NCDC for development of the said curriculum. And that is also something that we are seeing. They're complaining about funds already, because really, if without funds, then the experts that we will be able to be used in terms of developing this curriculum will not be able to be there. And Deputy Speaker of Parliament Thomas Tayeba also quoted government's plans regarding the tradition of candidates from O-level to another level, that is the A-level, under the new curriculum arrangements, and that is something we are yet following up on. Because for those who are really in O-level right now, definitely they would also expect to find a new curriculum that is of A-level managed, because they were the first batch, actually, I must say. Those who are going to sit exams this year, they were the first batch to be under the new curriculum. And we also expect them to be the first batch, and that is under the A-level curriculum, for those who will be able to really branch off there, except maybe those who will want to really also branch off to the other institutions, because really after O-level, there's privilege for some people to really also branch off, that is to the next other levels. For instance, going to other institutions such as the technical schools, also the nursing schools. This is where we have seen them over time branching off, and that is something we are yet following up on. And I must say, if that is the case, then definitely that is also greatly going to improve on their academic progress. So I think that is also something that we can't leave out, as that is also one thing that is on the papers. And really, if that is not the case, then definitely maybe those who are under the new curriculum will also really find it very, very difficult and to really also continue with what is happening. And really, that is something that we are talking about yet also. Moving away from that, now the mass enrollment to register or renew expiring, that is identity cards of close to 30 million Ugandans, is expected to start on, that is June 1st, that is of June 1st of a year later than the original date. Internal Affairs State Minister Major General, that is General David Muhoozi, told Parliament on Tuesday. And remember, most of these IDs, we are actually set to expire by 2025, and we already in 2024. I don't know what people are now thinking about the IDs, and the IDs are about to expire. And now the legislators on Tuesday expressed concern that any delays and failure to have the IDs upgraded on time could plunge the country into gross hiccups, and that is where they are raising their concern about the IDs. And remember, the first batch of current identity cards were issued in 2014 and 2015, with a 10 years lifespan setting to expire before August 2024 and June 2025, for those who, depending on when you actually got your ID, because some people's IDs will be expiring this year. Others' IDs will be able to expire next year, and this is around June. This is where we're going to be seeing IDs expiring. And now concerned to actually replace these IDs is what is going on. And on Tuesday, General Muhoozi told the House that there is currently no money for recruitment of registration staff, even as the 300 billion supplementary budget was passed for the process. Only shillings 192 was allocated for the cause in Q3. But General Muhoozi said all the preparations are underway, including training of NIRA staff in India on the new National Security Information System, procurement of the system, and other supporting accessories also ongoing, as he confirmed that. And legislators raised these multiple concerns, ranging from questions that the necessity of the renewal, as well as the slow process of issuance and access to IDs. Legislators also want thorough training for the staff to avert errors as witnessed in the last enrollments. Really, if you saw what happened in the last enrollments, people had cases of their names that is being misspelled. Other people had questions, other people had concerns of their date of birth really being misplaced, and others have actually left the things as they are, where some people's signatures also not there. We had just see people coming out and saying my ID is unable to sign, where we see these things. And this is actually one thing that was attributed maybe to lack of thorough training of the staffs. And now the members of parliament are saying if the staff are going to be trained very, very well, vigorous training for them is actually the way to go, such that they will be able to really avoid certain, maybe certain challenges of such calibers, so that in future, when the right time comes, they will not be able to really avoid some of these challenges. And NIRA will add that the iris is an additional biometric feature to new ID cards. And the new cards will also have a security feature that can be detected under ultraviolet in addition to the UV by flow red. So this is to further make the card difficult to duplicate and allow for persons with UV light to test if a card is genuine. And really that is yet something that we are following up on. And one thing that you need to know, Section 54 of the Registration Persons Act, that is ROPA 2015, provides for compulsory registration with NIRA for all citizens of Uganda resident in or outside Uganda. And according to NIRA's explainer on mass enrollment and mass renewal, every Ugandan who is above 16 years is eligible to get an ID. And the forthcoming exercise that is really targets persons who have never applied for registration for a national identity card or a national identification number, or a person who applied but has never received a NIN. So this is what the forthcoming exercise is targeting, because some people really know how the pain maybe of living without a national ID in this era is. Because really, if you know how difficult life has become without the IDs, then definitely you will be able to really rush when the right time comes for people to start engaging in this exercise will come. Because really, if you look at how maybe when they started talking about this exercise of the national IDs, so many of us, we are very, very much negligent, and some of us did not actually want to be part of this exercise. We were having negative thoughts about this national ID. Some people actually abandoned until the pain started inflicting on them. That is when they rushed and really also got themselves these IDs. And really, we now know that it is a reality. We cannot live without the IDs, because for you to access banks, you need the IDs. For you to go to certain, apply for certain jobs, they will ask for IDs. For you to go to certain schools, they will ask for IDs to confirm whether you are Ugandan, whether truly you are Ugandan, or you are just somebody who trying to maneuver your way through to get services. So I think for those who know what exactly the national ID is all about, for those who have felt the pain, you will be able to really rush out for you to really get the national IDs. And for those who really lost the IDs, and I believe there are some who lost their IDs not because they wanted, and they were unable to really also renew the IDs due to the hard process of renewing the IDs, where we have seen it has become also very, very difficult for people to really renew the IDs, and also to update the national IDs has always been a challenge, where the queues at NIRA are very long. And really, if this application could be online, maybe just like the passport, really it would also really be quite good there for people to really avoid maybe certain lines. So according to the update on their website, NIRA will set up a mobile enrollment sites in the parishes across all districts in Uganda. General Muhoozi's statement shows that the update and harmonization of administration units was done in January. Every applicant will form a file on physical or online requesting for renewal or processing of new ID. So I think that is something that we are yet following up on. And for those who do not have the national IDs, this is actually the time where you will be able to really get yourself one. So every applicant will form, file this thing for renewal or enrollment. There will be an option for those to apply online, or for other people to really also access that. For those who have access to internet, they will be able to apply online. This is something I was requesting for. And then for those who cannot be able to use the online maybe criteria, they will be able to really access this maybe through the centers that they will be able to put in place in all the districts for them to really also get a chance of that is also being part of this. And definitely that is also really going to greatly improve on what we're talking about, because living without the IDs in this era, it is now a great concern, because you cannot really access certain services. You know how difficult it is. And really, for you to be without the national IDs, for those who have lost SIM cards, you know definitely it has become very, very difficult for you to really also be part of that. And now with that, preparations and high gear for the 38th NRM Liberation Day in Pakwach, and really remember the day was already celebrated, but that is in Jinja, and now Kokoliriko district is yet to commemorate the day now, and this is where they're going to also join Uganda in celebrating this day. And the day, according to information we are getting, is going to be graced by, that is General Taban Amin, commonly known as Igwe. That is the son to former President Idi Amin Dada, who will be able to really join that. And remember, this information is actually going to also, is going to deliver the information as he's going to be the chief guest, and that function that is going to be taking place that is tomorrow, that is the February 15th of 2024, and Pakwach district will be able to really join the rest of the country in celebrating this day, where we expect the various political leaders to really be part of this, and we also expect that is the technocrats to also be part of this day, because the NRM Liberation Day is actually honored to celebrate the 26 men who were able to really also be part of the struggle that we enjoy today, the peace that we're talking about today. They were the ones who actually behind that, and really they struggled to see to that they liberate the country to really become peaceful, as we are talking about today. So the RDC added that there will be also a football match between, that is the former ISO boss, General Igwe's VCC team, and one of the strongest teams that comes from Pakwach immediately after the function. So that means that the day is now being prepared, and everything is now really going to be ready for those people from that side to really also be part of this day, because if they are not celebrating, definitely they are not then maybe joining Uganda in celebrating this day. Remember, the national celebrations did take place, that is on 26th of January, that it was in Jinja City, and the National Liberation Day was actually one where we did see the president also echoing a lot of caution here and there. He also did award really medals to more than 45 Ugandans, and really that was an event that was, I must say, was colorful, and where we did see the military parades, and we also expect to see the same. And in Arua City, where we also did see the colorful celebrations, where we saw leaders of Arua district joining those of Arua City, which was colorful, and Arua district really recently also held theirs, where we did see it becoming a battleground of leaders pinpointing at one another here and there. And I must say that was quite unfortunate, because blame work is not the way to go. I believe service delivery calls for concerted efforts, where each and every leader has to work together in terms of really bringing services to the person, more so who is on the ground, who is at the grassroots. And that common person maybe who is seeking for these services is actually going to be affected if the leaders fail to work together. So I think this one of Pakwach district does not really be like that one of Arua district, because if we really see people pinpointing each other here and there, and then definitely that is also not going to be quite good there, because we saw the councillors pinpointing and really also attacking the upper politicians, the members of parliament, where we did also see the members of parliament responding. And really that was something I must say was not quite good there, but really for the good, maybe it's also good, because if the leaders are not doing their work, if they are sleeping on duty, and then definitely they also need to be shaken a little bit, so that they also get to realize that they have a mandate that is in terms of echoing out the voices of the vulnerable poor who have elected them. Because sometimes if they really keep quiet, then definitely the person who is able to really seek for the services is going to be affected, is actually one that is going to really be affected by that. Because if they really do not get the services that they want, then definitely that is also really going to greatly impact on their lives. So I think that is something why we need to call upon the leaders to really work together, and in terms of ensuring that service delivery is given out to the masses, because really without service delivery, without the leaders working together, and remember, these leaders actually can lobby. They have the lobbying capacity when it comes to lobbying for the resources for the ordinary poor in terms of the various services. And the parliament, actually, where the members of parliament who are being attacked is actually the lobbying center. They can really use maybe the platforms also to really echo out their voices and say that as people of this place, we are lacking this and that. And then government would also really maybe in turn respond and come to their rescue with. So I think that is something that we are really talking about. And come tomorrow, we shall be able to really let you know of maybe how the day will be able to go and really how it has gone. And definitely that is where we shall be able to keep you updated of what is happening. So moving away from that now, Kosase orders for forensic audit into shillings 500 million gorilla permit fraud. And that is one of the stories that we're also seeing here now. The Parliamentary Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, abbreviated as Kosase, has ordered for a forensic audit into the 500 million gorilla permit fraud that rocked Uganda Wildlife Authority last year. The directive was issued by Kosase Chairperson Medad Segona while meeting UA officials led by Executive Director Sam Wenda, who were responding to Auditor General's queries raised in the December 2023 Auditor General's report. And the directive came in on the backdrop of the Auditor General's revelation that had been barred by UA from accessing the chimpanzee booking that data. That is when they were doing the investigation. So I think that is something that we are still following up on, and that is where the rules maybe or the clarity is not yet enough. So Kasasi is now demanding for the 500 million. Look at 500 million really, the gorilla permit for people to really, this is a permit where people can actually be issued to really go on with the operations against the gorilla. So the Attorney General John Mwanga told the committee that Uwa's decision to deny him the crucial data limits his work to verifying the correctness of the said earned revenue. So I think that is something we're talking about. Now, transparency is one thing that is actually lacking. If that is not addressed, then definitely people will be able to really continue with certain issues here and there. And upon Attorney General's revelation, Segona ordered for a forensic audit into the revenues declared by UWA. So that is something that we are seeing the leaders actually trying to work together in terms of ensuring that what is really happening is not corruption. And corruption really is something that has been eating up the society. So I think that is something that we are yet following up on. And we shall be able to sort of let you know of any development when it comes. So I think you need to only be part of the West Nile TV Kokoliriko live show. This is where you will be able to really get to yourself to know of what is happening in and around the country. So I think it is always very, very good for you to really be part of the show. And really that is where you will be able to sort of really get to know of what is happening. So I think that is where you need to be part of and need to also really also talk about that. And yesterday, on a sad note, the Forum for Democratic Change actually did lose one of their activists, and this is the Toka Kwa Barabara hit singer. And remember, this song was very much massively, it was very, very massively used in the 2016 campaign, and actually so many people did not know this artist. And now information that reached yesterday, this artist passed on, and where we did see it being a sad moment for the Forum for Democratic Change, because this song was not only used by one person, not only the president, where we did see actually all the politicians subscribing to the Forum for Democratic Change party using this song up the grassroots level, where we did see even the councillors still using this song. And this song actually became a hit, a national anthem that is for the party Forum for Democratic Change, where we did see them massively use this song. And I must say yesterday, the shocking news of the death of Adam Murwana, the Toka Kwa Barabara hit song reaching, that is the world, and he died at the age of 32. And according to information we got, he actually succumbed to, that is, internal problems. But now we also did see a video of him circulating, and where we suspected that he was poisoned, and he actually came out clearly to say that he was poisoned by a woman whom he does not know, and the lady claimed actually to have come from America, and he was a fan of his songs. And really, and this woman requested to meet him, and really this woman actually was saying that he supports the move and the cause of their struggle in terms of working towards that is also taking over power. So I think this woman, according to him, is the one that murdered him and really poisoned him by giving him food, that is pizza. And this woman requested for him to really come and eat pizza. And he didn't know, little did he know that this pizza was actually one that was poisoned. And this lady actually requested, after eating that, he found this woman eating that pizza. And this was at the woman's home that is in one of the areas in Kampala, and where he visited, and really this is where he believes he ate the poison from. So I think that is something that really we were talking about. And this gentleman has been battling this illness for quite some time, and this food poisoning that we're talking about. And now that is where I think that we're talking about. And the song Toka Kwa Barabara, meaning get out of the way, was massively used by the opposition members, more so those affiliated to the Forum for Democratic Change. And really that is something that we really did talk about. We did see coming yesterday in the morning, which was really a shocking revelation. So I think that is something that we are talking about. And Murwana is said to be buried today. That is in Butambala district, and this is one of the districts actually where I must say I lived in Butambala for about 4 years. This is where he will be able to be buried. So I think in the same interview, the doctors had revealed to him that besides the liver complications, he had been poisoned, and really we knew he was battling liver complications, but he actually knew that when the doctors revealed to him that he was poisoned, and he had to reflect back on that scenario maybe where he ate that pizza. And really he remembers a scenario that was really quite shocking. As he was eating that pizza, a young boy actually came in, a young child, which he says, that woman was saying that belongs to him. This really, if you saw that video, you will be able to really know what I'm talking about, where this woman actually was at home eating this pizza with him, and where he saw a young child coming to really request for this pizza, which was being eaten by him. And the way this woman chased that kid is actually one thing that makes him maybe have a feeling that it is actually that woman that poisoned him. And now we pray for his soul to rest in eternal peace, because it is really quite shocking. It is really quite the death that is really painful at the age of just 32 years, and really somebody is dying. So I think that is something that we really have to also talk about, and we pray for his soul to rest in eternal peace. We do not know why he was actually poisoned. And yesterday we also did see some members of the opposition pointing each other here and there, saying that the people did not actually offer for him enough support. and that is actually where he died. And yesterday we now saw also some of the artists, because he was a musician, also coming out, and there is one of the persons also came out and said maybe what is causing problems for artists is today that artists really also want to cross their boundaries. They do not want to remain in music alone, and that is why they are facing challenge. They forget that they're musicians, and they all tend to very much get actively engaged in politics, and that is why they're getting challenges. So I think that is something that one of the artists also did come out clearly to say, and really we do not know how true that one is, but really that is what they said, and really we are yet following up on that. And I must say that is something that was quite shocking, and really we continue to pray for his soul to rest in eternal peace. And today he will be able to be buried. That is in the Butambala district, that is in the western, that is still in central Uganda, next to Mpigi. That is where he will be able to be buried from. I think that is also something that we cannot exclude and talk about. And now the role of protests, that we are if you talk about the role of protests in Uganda's politics, that is also one thing that we are seeing on the papers. We have often been seeing protests, and this is something I must say we have been witnessing protests, and really, and police has also in turn retaliated by cracking down these protests, and something I must say at times also has been very much brutal. And now to demonstrate, really I believe protests are not constitutional, but to demonstrate is a constitutional right. You really, if you are to really go on the streets and start maybe echoing out your grievances, you first of all need clearance from the security agencies. For instance, Uganda Police, who will be able to really give the permission to go on with your intended purposes, maybe in terms of also what you think. That is where also we are talking about when it comes to cases of demonstrations. But protests are really not acceptable, because negatively they also at times impact, where we see people at times coming on the streets to loot, where we see people also coming to really injure one another, where we're seeing people also really causing commotion, really. That is why sometimes riots are not good, but rather if people are to demonstrate, because peaceful demonstrations are permitted, the Constitution accepts it. It's a constitutional right for somebody to really go out to really demonstrate if they feel there's something that is not good. So I think that is something that we are yet following up on, and definitely that is also something, if we cannot really exclude, talking about, because if that is not the case, then definitely it is going to really greatly impact on the people's livelihoods, where we're seeing people now being, at times also being brought on the streets, where we're seeing also people being influenced, because in most cases we are being told sometimes these protesters or these demonstrators are being used by some people, more so politicians, who are calling these people to come on the streets to really come and demonstrate, in most cases who do not actually really understand why they are on the streets. And that is how some of them have been easily losing their lives, because they do not really know what is happening, and they do not know the intentions, but they are rather being influenced, and they buy for them the alcohol, they buy for them the drugs. Really, that is how they have been acting under the influence of drugs, and then under possession of alcohol. That is how they have been getting problems. So I think that is also something that we cannot totally exclude talking about. Because really, if you look at protests, recently we have been seeing protests. We saw protests of the fish traders, where we did see them storming that is the office of the Resident City Commissioner. Recently, we also did see the strikes and demonstrations, protests by the intern doctors. That is also still one thing that we did see. But I must say, those are constitutional rights. It is their right to really go on with the demonstrations. If you feel that you're not happy about certain things, you need to use the right criteria. The right criteria is you need to write to police and request for police to really protect you, because if you are going to those protests, if you're going into those demonstrations, definitely you need the help of security to really also ensure that they protect you. They also really have to ensure that the safety of everybody is fulfilled, because in most cases I talked about looting, I talked about also people beating each other here and there when they are doing this demonstration, which is quite wrong. And really with that we come to another break, and when we return back, we shall be able to continue with the conversation up the hour of 9. And at 9, that is when the news bulletin Lugbarati will come through. And for those who understand the Lugbara language, this is why you need not to really also miss out, because definitely they will be able to give you the news in the language that you best know, and this is the Lugbara dialect. So for those who want to learn the grammar, who want to learn the vocabulary of Lugbarati, definitely the team is very much ready, very much prepared to give you what is happening in the world of news in the best language, that is Lugbarati, and also the Lembangea in Aluru. For those who speak Aluru, will be able to come at midday, and then for those who speak the white man's language, that is English, the Nilecast News Bulletin will be able to come at 7 p.m. with me, Farish Majid. And for now, let's first run in for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to expound with other topics here and there. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on StarTimes. StarTimes brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are still continuing with the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV with me, Farish Majid, and from wherever you are watching us from, I want to say it's a great pleasure having you on board. And in case you're just joining us right now, thank you so much. You are most welcome to the Kokoliriko live morning show that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays, right from the hour of 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. with me, Farish Majid. And this is where we discuss pertinent issues that could be affecting society, or maybe something that you need to know about, because really sometimes also we may be talking about certain things that you could just be hearing about them, but really you do not know much about them. This is where we actually give you insights to what you need to know. And this is where also we do also share ideas here and there. And remember, you can actually be part of this show, and really that is quite simple. If you really feel that there's something that we need to talk about, you can really share it via our various media feedback generating platforms. For those on Facebook, the comment section is wide open. You can really drop your comments there. And for those who are also watching us via YouTube, you can actually also use the YouTube link where you can access the comment section and be able to really drop your comment, and we shall be able to really also see it clearly and share with the rest of the viewers. And remember, with the advantage of the technical advancement, your views can actually reach as far as the Middle East, as far as the world. And we do have people watching us all the way from the Middle East. We have people watching us from Europe. We have people watching us from the other parts of Africa. And this is why you need not to really also exclude yourself out, and you can actually be part of this each and every Mondays to Fridays. And this is where we do discuss a lot of issues here and there with you. And that is the advantage of the Kokoliriko live show. And now, yesterday, I must say, the media fraternity was actually engaged in a fellowship with the Bishop of Mahdi and West Nile Diocese, Right Reverend Charles Collins Andaku, where all the media, most of the media houses actually sent in representatives. And this was something I must say was quite amazing, because for quite some time we have been lacking this, something that actually brings us together. And I must say it was quite a good move, and where we did see journalists from the other various media houses, irrespective of where you work from, maybe also what you do. I must say the whole sole purpose is to work for the society. And this is why the media industry is quite important. It is there to act as the watchdog, and also to inform and entertain and educate. And remember, also yesterday was World Radio Day, and radio has actually been also playing that role of informing, that is also educating and informing for all these centuries. So I think that is something that was quite good, where we did have representatives from the various radio stations, where we did have representatives from the people who write for the print, where we also had representatives from the televisions, because we do have so many people that work for televisions here. So we had to really come together. It was a good thing to see people getting together. And I really want to also laud the Bishop of Mahdi and West Nile, that's Right Reverend Charles Collins Andaku, for doing that, where we did see also the chairperson of the session really sharing knowledge. We did see also people coming out clearly to give out their testimonies of how this media industry has been treating them and how they have started, maybe also sharing their experience. And that was something that was quite good for people to interact, because most of the times also people have not been interacting, and that has been also causing, that is maybe ill feelings. At the end of the day, I must say, each and all of us have the same goal, have the same mandate, that is to entertain, that is first of all to inform, because it's the sole purpose of the media industry. Second, to educate, and then to entertain comes lastly, because people have to be entertained. Because if you really look at what is happening maybe today, where people are killing themselves, people are lying idle, sometimes the entertainment part of it would actually relieve them of stress, and that is why entertainment is also very much important. And people could be lacking knowledge about certain government projects. To inform them is actually where it is, and also to educate. Really, sometimes people may be lacking knowledge about certain diseases, and then about certain government projects. It is also there through the media to actually educate them. And this is where we did see the journalists coming together, and I must say it was quite good. And the Right Reverend Charles Collins Andaku, the Bishop of Mahdi and West Nile, this actually called upon for cooperation and unity among the media fraternity personnel in the West Nile sub-region. And this is also something I must say that was quite good, because this fellowship that was conducted by West Nile Press Session, where we did see the chairperson actually coming together with the members. And this is something I must say, this is the beginning, and I believe this should not be the end. And this is for journalists to really come together and believe. I want to also call upon maybe the organizers of this meeting not to remain with that. And I want to tell them that this should be the beginning. And I believe, just like the beginning, this should not be the end. We expect more of these events to really come together. And really, that is something that would also really greatly also improve on the unity among the media personalities, because really sometimes the journalists do not want to work together, and that is something that is quite bad. That has been affecting the final consumer, because the final consumer, who is you, the listener, also you, the viewer, if you do not get certain information, then definitely that is excluding you, and it is also against your right, because you have access to information is your right, and the media also is there to really inform and do that. And really moving on from that now, South Africa's president, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, has ordered the deployment of 29,000, that is 2,900 soldiers to aid in the fight against armed rebel groups, that is in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The announcement comes as the fighting recently intensified in the east of the country. And our neighbors, the Democratic Republic of Congo, for quite some time have been grappling with issues of insecurity, and this is in the terms of rebels. We have the ADF, who have been destabilizing mostly the eastern part, and the other parts of the country also. Now, South Africa is now set to also really deploy, that is 2,900 armed forces, which to me is quite good, and if maybe also other countries would also really join hands and to also ensure that in kicking off this maybe these rebels, that would be quite good, because the country continues to suffer insurgencies, the country continues to also suffer in terms of the civil war, which is really quite good, because not quite good, it is quite bad, and I must say, because at the end of the day, it is pushing people into refugees, where we have now in a rural city, we have people who have come all the way from the DRC, who are living as refugees now, and this is also affecting their lives, because being in refuge is something, I must say, is quite dangerous, because people suffer a lot while they're refugees. And I must say, while growing up, one of the stories that I can never forget my grandmother and my grandparents used to tell me about is the life that was in exile, and where they actually rushed to, that is DRC. At one time, they also moved to South Sudan. This story is one thing that I can never forget, because they really told us of how difficult life was while they were in refuge. And I must say, we need to really also guard the peace that we have in this country, and we should pray always that we have the peace continue to reign in our country, because our neighbors who are really going through a lot may not be really enjoying this peace that we're talking about. And now we also expect development with the peace. And then how are we using the peace? That is also some question that we need always to ask ourselves of, because if we are having the peace and then we continue to stagnate by in terms of development, then definitely at the end of the day, people will start asking questions which may not be having the answers, which may be rhetoric at the same time. So I think to avoid the rhetoric questions, we need to really use the peace that we have currently well. And if South Africa is now to deploy the soldiers, we are going to also really maybe see at the end of the day, peace reign once more in the country that for long has been facing, that is political instability. And really these rebels, the ADF that we do understand, have been causing a lot of problems. And according to information that we have been getting from the security agencies, these are actually camping that is in the forest, in the forest of Turi, where we see forests. And remember, this is not only the only insurgents, where we also at one time we also saw that is the rebel leader of the Lord Resistance Army also fleeing, that is the DRC. But now after operations by joint forces ranging from the UPDF and other security agencies, where we did see them actually being kicked off, and now we do not know where they are. We are still looking for more information as to why, also where he is, because he has to be brought to book for the crimes and atrocities that he committed. And really, if at one time he will be able to be arrested, definitely that would also really be quite good. And remember, early this year, the president of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, did communicate something about the ADF in DRC. He actually said that the ADF, we are camping in DRC, and the previous presidents did not actually allow him to really go on and really also ensure kicking off these rebels out of that area is concerned. And when the current president, that is Felix Tshisekedi, gave him the chance, they have now done what is expected and in terms of really bringing some bit of peace in that area. And now we're expecting also, we may be with the coming of South Africa on board, that is actually going to address this challenge of the security insurgency in the country that is soon maybe set to become fully part of the East African community, where we expect to become one community, where we expect to have the same currency, where we expect to move freely. That would be quite good, because really if you look at the Democratic Republic of Congo, sometimes we have people who come from Uganda and their relatives in DRC, where we have people, Congolese, who freely cross to our country, and once they come to our country, we freely interact with them, and once we move there, and also we have seen that our people, once they go there, they have learned the language, they have learned to associate with the people, and they really continue to peacefully coexist, which is something I must say is very commendable and very much also appreciative. And really I want to really now call maybe for peace. If the leaders of this nation maybe join hands in terms of bringing stability in that area, that would also really be quite good, because due to these insurgencies, it is the ordinary person that continues to suffer. It is them that are pushed into exile. It is them that lose their property. It is them that lose their lives. So I think if this is going to be addressed, maybe if that is implemented, definitely that would also really greatly improve on the livelihoods, maybe in terms of also bringing political stability in the area. That would also really be quite good. And with that, really, I want to come to a close of today's edition of the Kokoliriko live show. And I want to wish each and all of you happy Valentine's Day. I also want to wish you a happy Lent period. For the 40 days for the Christians, I want to say we need to really be holy within this period. Let us fast, because very soon after your fasting, Ramadan is also on the way for the Muslims, and I think this is actually the period for people to be very, very holy. From wherever you are, really, I want to thank you so much. With that, we come to a close of today's discussion as we pave way. That is for the AOL news team to also really come through and let you know of what is happening in the world of news. And my name is Farish Majid. Up next is the AOL News Bulletin. For now, I'm out. Let us catch up again till tomorrow for the same show, same time, same television. I'm out.